Claymore by Norihiro Yagi, published monthly in Jump Square. It used to be monthly Shonen Jump, but that went bust or whatever. I'm currently on volume 3 of this, and it's really, really good. It's Shonen Jump Advanced, so anything that comes under that title is going to be like aimed at 16 and onwards. It's categorized demographically as shonen, but it really isn't. It's not really a boys manga. It's like a young adults manga, or older teen, as it says in the back. But I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, I'm on volume 3 at the moment, and the story, it didn't really captivate me as such from volume 1, because I bought all 3 volumes at once, so I kind of just read through them all in one day. The first volume is just, it doesn't really give you much of an introduction to the main protagonist, Claire. She hasn't really solidified herself as like a good main protagonist yet. Like any kind of manga that I've read, it's always been down to the first volume to really give you that push and really make you emotionally attached to like the main whoever it is, the main protagonist. But this so far hasn't really made me feel like any sort of attachment. I don't really feel emotionally invested in Claire as a character. But volume 3 starts kind of her backstory, and her relationship with Teresa, who basically, well, the whole setting of it is set in a world where there's like monsters called Yoma that basically exist solely to prey on humans. Like humans are basically their food, and the human race basically made these female warriors, which are basically half Yoma, to basically combat them a bit. Have something to be able to fight them. And they're basically called Claymores because they carry these big massive swords. And the main protagonist, Claire, she is a Yoma, not a Yoma, a Claymore. She's half, or I believe quarter actually, Yoma. Because I actually spoiled a few things for myself when I was reading the plot on Wikipedia like an idiot. But it's volume 3 kind of starts off her backstory, and she was basically found, rescued by Teresa from a Yoma who was basically keeping her as a pet, essentially, and she basically becomes attached to Teresa. I don't know what happens after that, but I prefer seeing the Claire as a child because she's more emotionally driven. I think she's obviously human at this point. I don't know if like when they become Claymores, like they lose part of themselves or something, because all Claymores just kind of seem a little bit like cold and emotionless and almost very antisocial and almost like sociopathic in a sense. But needless to say, the artwork is at times can be very flawless. The fight scenes are choreographed very, very well. The art style is it's detailed, but at the same time there's a lot of like negative space used. Sometimes the panels can just be like white in the background, and completely blank. But then you get some like kind of panels that are like very, very detailed, like shots, close up shots on the face like that. So the artwork is it's unique in a sense. The artist has adopted kind of more of a realistic style for his characters. All the body parts and all the facial parts, are more or less in anatomical proportions to what they really would be like. In a lot of shonen manga, you see kind of heavily distorted faces, big eyes, that kind of thing, crazy hairstyles. But you don't really get this in Claymore. It's for me, it seems like a shonen that's closer to more seinen. Obviously, the demographic is older anyway, but artistically, it seems like more of a seinen series than a shonen. So that's why I enjoy it. I don't think I'd really like Claymore if the art style was like more, almost child friendly, or if the characters were like heavily distorted. I don't think I'd like it as much as I do. But yeah, like I said, I'm on volume 3. And I'm really, really enjoying it. That there's a real emotional attachment between Claire and Teresa that's just developed at the end of this volume, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes, and how Claire became a Claymore herself, because she started off as human. Or there's a lot of questions that I've got for this series, and a lot of things that I'm anticipating from it. It's I believe it's about 22 volumes that have been released so far in the UK, so it's obviously doing pretty well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this series more, and once I'm a little bit further into it, I'll probably do a more thorough review on it, because this is basically just my first impressions of it, and yeah, my first impressions of it are good. Although I don't really like the main characters so far yet, but I feel that I'll be able to emotionally invest in her once I get through her backstory and see how and why she's doing everything that she's doing. But yeah, leave your thoughts and your comments in the section below. Tell me what you think of the series. If you really like it, please try not to spoil anything for me. Obviously, I'm only on volume 3 at the moment, so I don't really want to know anything about what's going to go on, because obviously I'm going to be reading through this myself. And yeah, just tell me what you think of my opinions on Claire. And yeah, I'm open to discussion. So see you later.